Okay, so the process for event flyer. Um, so it's going to look very much similar to the last couple process. One, we're going to establish hierarchy. Two, do thumbnail sketches. Go digital. Composition variations. And then you guessed it, color and final revisions. It's very similar to our last project except for number one. So let's look at that. Establish hierarchy. Research the event and read your content thoroughly. Prioritize flyer content into 5 numbered sections, blocks based on hierarchy. So what you're going to do is you have 3 options and you're going to pick one event and then you're going to find um, the 5 numbered sections. So you'll find a title, the second hierarchy, third, fourth, and fifth. And it's kind of up to you to delineate what is the most important. So if you want to um, advertise the pricing before the biography, that's fine, but be very strategic and intentional on why you're deciding to do that. Um, yeah. Okay, then you're going to do thumbnail sketches, and then so that's going to be developing 10 thumbnail sketches for each flyer, so you're going to have 20 total using the framework of the provided 3-column grid, exploring the organization of the content. So for here, just do your sketches pretending that you have a 3-column grid, or you can sketch out a 3-column grid on your thumbnail, but just keep that in mind. Do not write out all of the text, focus more on how the content is filling the space. Write out the title hierarchy 1 text, and then represent the remaining text with blocks and lines. So this person did a pretty good job. They represented their hierarchy 1 with H1, but what you should do is represent hierarchy 1 with the actual title. So if you decide to do this event, Arrested Development, then hierarchy 1 should be written out. Arrested Development should be written out for your hierarchy 1, and then afterwards you can just represent each one with H2, H3, H4. Yeah, so these thumbnails will look a lot like our last project with a couple of changes. And then you're going to go digital from the strongest sketches from each flyer, create an InDesign file for the flyer, import the provided grid PDF on a separate locked layer. I'll have a grid for you to use on iCollege. And then you're going to do composition variations. So develop 5 or more black and white iterations of each flyer, experimenting with different typographic variables. So at this point, we know the things that we can work with. So spacing and position on the artboard, typeface and font styles, information chunking. That's new, but that's paragraphs, paragraphs and columns and rows. Body copy variables. I don't know what that means. I'll think about that some more. Post at least 5.5 by 8.5 versions of each flyer for pinup. Body copy variables means maybe you use different pieces of your copy to be different hierarchies. So hierarchy 1 would be this next generation of dance. So that's number 1. But maybe the second hierarchy is the pricing, or you do the second hierarchy is the location. But you just you swap them out a little bit. So here is a good example. It looks like they did the date as the first hierarchy, 11, 16, 19. But it doesn't work very well for this one, but it's good to see it put into the variations. And then 5, you're going to do color and final revisions. Select the strongest black and white version and explore 5 or more color palettes with each flyer. Post at least 3 of each flyer for pinup. Address any refinements in typeface, color composition to reinforce keywords. Um, so yeah, very much like the last um, assignment. And I want to talk about these differences. So these are very interesting because you can tell like these are a lot more dynamic than this one because they're really letting the space, the artboard breathe with all of this negative space. Um, this one starts to look better here because there's all this negative space in this column and here too. But these right here feel really, really, really crowded and really full. Um, so these are just something to think about when you're designing these. Like you have this crowdedness, but then you have these very openness, and the open ones are usually more fun to read. Um, so yeah, that's about it um, for the process. Okay, thanks everyone.